In every corner of the world, there are secrets, stories that exist beyond understanding. Tonight, we uncover 3 terrifying haunted tales: abandoned mall, underpass station, abandoned house. This is episode 142 of Dynamic Dark. Put on your headphones and let the fear begin. Microphone narration 1. Today's first story is The Abandoned Mall. One night, 4 friends, Alex, Ryan, Ethan, and Jake, decided to explore an abandoned mall that had been closed for years. Locals warned them to stay away after dark, but they thought it was just another urban legend. The mall officially closed at 10 p.m. Yet security reports kept showing something impossible. Every night after midnight, motion sensors activated across different floors. 1 minute on the ground floor, the next minute on the third, as if something was moving through the building. Fast. Very fast. The strange part: every camera inside the mall was offline. There should have been no footage at all. Yet every morning, guards found fresh footprints in the dust. Hundreds of them. But they never led inside the mall. And they never led outside. They simply appeared in the middle of empty hallways. Then one morning, a security guard noticed something that made him quit immediately. Mixed among the footprints was a second trail, much larger, and whatever made those prints seemed to have been following the first ones. Alex, Ryan, Ethan, and Jake stepped deeper into the abandoned mall. An uneasy silence surrounded them. The building felt wrong. Too quiet. No music. No air conditioning. No distant sounds from outside. Nothing. It was as if the entire mall had been cut off from the world. Then Jake suddenly stopped walking. Ahead of them, an escalator was moving upward on its own. Slowly. Silently. The problem was, the power to the building had been disconnected years ago. Ryan laughed nervously and pulled out his phone flashlight. That's when they noticed something even stranger. Every mannequin on the floor above was standing perfectly still, facing the escalator, as if they were watching it, waiting for something to arrive. Then, without warning, the escalator stopped, and for a brief second, they heard footsteps coming from the top floor. Heavy footsteps. But when they looked up, there was nobody there. The group slowly made their way to the third floor. The fog seemed thicker up there, almost as if it was hiding something. Then Ethan stopped. Every mannequin inside the stores was facing the corridor. Not the shop windows. Not the displays. The corridor. All of them. Alex frowned. Just a few moments earlier, they had been facing the store entrances. He was sure of it. Then a loud creak echoed through the floor. One mannequin slowly turned its head toward them. The group froze. Then another mannequin moved. And another. And another. Plastic joints twisted in the darkness. Their movements were slow, unnatural, almost human. The friends backed away in silence. But the mannequins continued turning, following their every movement. Then Jake raised his flashlight toward the far end of the hallway. And standing among the mannequins was a tall black ghost, hovering above the floor, completely still. watching them from the darkness. The group stood frozen. The mannequins hadn't moved for several seconds. Then suddenly, a loud burst of static exploded from the mall speakers. Everyone jumped. The sound echoed through the empty building. Then a distorted voice slowly filled the corridor. Store reopening in progress. The friends looked at each other, confused, terrified. This mall had been abandoned for years. There shouldn't have been any power, any employees, or any announcements. Then Alex noticed something at the far end of the corridor. A store was glowing. Bright white lights shining through the darkness. Every other shop remained closed. Dark. Silent. Dead. But this one looked open, as if it had never shut down. Then the speaker crackled once more, and a second message echoed through the mall. Customers have arrived. At that exact moment, dozens of tall black ghosts slowly turned toward the glowing store, as if they had been waiting for it to open. With trembling hands, Alex slowly stepped toward the glowing store. The others followed behind him. The moment they looked inside, their blood ran cold. Standing in the center of the store was a towering black ghost, far taller than the others. Its body looked like living darkness. No face, no eyes, no features. Only a human-shaped void absorbing the light around it. The entire store felt colder, heavier, wrong. Then a loud plastic creak echoed through the corridor. The group turned around. The mannequins were moving again. This time they weren't just turning their heads. They were walking, slowly stepping out of their display windows. One by one, dozens of lifeless figures entering the hallway, their empty eyes fixed on the black ghost. Not the friends, the black ghost. And as more mannequins emerged from the darkness, the towering entity slowly raised one arm, as if commanding them all. The moment the giant black ghost raised its arm, panic took over. Alex shouted for everyone to run. The four friends sprinted through the corridor. But something was wrong. Every exit sign had changed. They no longer pointed outside. They pointed deeper into the mall, toward the darkness, toward more black ghosts. Everywhere they looked, they saw them. Tall black figures hovering above the floor. One near the escalator. Several standing between the stores. Dozens more silently watching from the upper floors. Waiting. Then the mall speakers crackled one final time. And the same distorted voice echoed through the building. You are now part of closing time. Suddenly all the lights went out. The friends screamed. And then, everything became silent. The next morning, the abandoned mall was completely empty. But inside a display window stood four brand new mannequins, wearing the exact same clothes Alex, Ryan, Ethan, and Jake had been wearing that night. Today's second story is The Underpass Station. One cold night, 6 friends, Logan, Mason, Tyler, Emma, Olivia, and Sophie, were driving home after a late-night road trip. Heavy fog covered the highway. Visibility kept getting worse. And that's when Sophie noticed something strange. An old underpass beside the road. None of them had ever seen it before, which was impossible. They had driven on that highway dozens of times. Logan pulled over, curious. confused. The entrance looked abandoned, covered in fog, almost hidden from the road. Later, they would discover something terrifying. The underpass wasn't marked on any map. Most people never noticed it. But during heavy fog, it appeared beside the highway, only at night, and only when nobody was looking for it. As the friends stared at the dark entrance, they noticed something moving inside. A tall black ghost, hovering above the ground, perfectly still, watching them from the darkness. Against their better judgment, the group decided to enter the underpass. Logan switched on his flashlight, and the 6 friends slowly stepped into the darkness. At first, it seemed completely normal. Just an old tunnel hidden beside the highway. But after a few minutes, Emma looked back and froze. The road behind them was gone. Everyone turned around. Their hearts sunk. The entrance they had used only moments earlier had vanished. In its place stood a solid concrete wall. No opening. No exit. Nothing. Panic spread through the group. Tyler ran toward the wall and hit it with both hands. It was real. Cold. Solid. Impossible. There was no way back. Then Sophie noticed something even worse. Fresh footprints had appeared in the dust behind them. Dozens of them, leading deeper into the tunnel, as if something had already walked this path and was waiting for them ahead. With no way back, the friends had no choice but to keep moving forward. For several minutes, the tunnel seemed completely normal. Just a long abandoned underpass. Nothing more. Then Mason noticed something strange. A faded missing person poster on the wall. A few minutes later, he saw the exact same poster again. Same face. Same tear marks. Same stains. At first, he thought it was a coincidence. But then they saw it again. And again. And again. Every few hundred feet. The same posters kept reappearing. The same cracks in the walls. The same broken light. The same rusted pipe. It was as if the tunnel was repeating itself. Like they were walking through the same section over and over. Then Olivia checked her phone. Her face turned pale. They had been walking for nearly an hour. Yet according to the map, they hadn't moved at all. The group continued deeper into the tunnel. None of them spoke. The repeating walls. The repeating posters. The endless darkness. It was getting inside their heads. Then Sophie suddenly stopped walking. She pointed ahead. Beneath a flickering light stood a tall black ghost, hovering silently above the ground, completely motionless. Its body looked like living darkness. No face, no eyes, no features. Just a human-shaped void standing in the tunnel. Nobody dared move. Nobody dared speak. Then the overhead light flickered once. The friends instinctively looked away. Only for a second. When they looked back, the black ghost was closer. Much closer. The group panicked. And as the lights continued flickering, more tall black ghosts slowly began appearing further down the tunnel. One after another, watching them from the darkness. The friends turned and ran. But the tunnel kept stretching. The faster they moved, the longer it became. Then more black ghosts appeared. hovering silently along the walls. Watching. Not chasing. Not moving. Just waiting. Suddenly, every light inside the tunnel switched off. Darkness swallowed everything. The friends couldn't see each other anymore. They couldn't even see their own hands. Then a whisper echoed through the tunnel. From every direction at once. Cold. Impossible. You are traveling through something that forgot how to end. The voice faded. And the tunnel became silent again. A few seconds later, the lights flickered back on. The group looked around in panic. Logan, Mason, Tyler, Emma, Olivia, and Sophie were gone. Every single one of them. Only 6 flashlights remained, lying in the center of the tunnel. And surrounding them, dozens of tall black ghosts hovered silently in the fog. Watching. Waiting. As if the tunnel had finally claimed its newest visitors. Today's final story is The Abandoned House That Remembers You. For 17 years, the house had stood completely abandoned. No electricity, no residents, no visitors. Yet every month, someone was cutting the grass outside, keeping the property clean, as if the house was still expecting guests. One evening, 2 friends, Daniel and Chloe, decided to find out why. Microphone narration 2. Daniel and Chloe stepped inside. At first, everything seemed normal. Old furniture, dusty hallways, faded wallpaper. Then they noticed photographs hanging on the walls. Every photo showed them standing inside the house, smiling, even though they had never been there before. The deeper they explored, the stranger the photos became. Some showed them eating at the dining table. Others showed them sleeping upstairs. Then they found a photo taken from behind. It showed them standing in the exact hallway they were walking through, as if someone had been watching them for years. Suddenly, heavy footsteps echoed from upstairs. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Daniel and Chloe rushed toward the staircase. But when they reached the second floor, nobody was there. Only fresh footprints in the dust, leading deeper into the house. At the end of the dark corridor, they finally saw it. A tall black ghost hovering near a bedroom door. Its body was made of living darkness. No face, no eyes, no features. It wasn't looking at them. It was staring at the wall, waiting for something to remember. Suddenly, every door inside the house slammed shut. The lights flickered. The black ghost slowly raised its head. Without turning around, it whispered, "You don't enter abandoned places." Silence filled the house. Then it finished. "They remember how you look." The next morning, the house was empty again. But 3 new photographs appeared, showing Daniel and Chloe standing beside the black ghost, smiling. This was episode 142 of Dynamic Dark. Which story ruined your night? Tell us in the comments. The most terrifying comment will be pinned. Episode 143 is coming. Creepypasta horror stories are even darker and more cursed. Like, subscribe and press the bell icon if you dare to step into the darkness again. Everyday new horror episode at 7:45 p.m. only on Dynamic Dark.